Danish Jews on the Run by Luc A. On April 9th, 1940, Germany invaded Denmark. At first, Germany just wanted to rule Denmark and eliminate the Jews after it won the war. However, in the spring of 1943, the Allies' progress inspired the Danish people to begin their resistance to the German occupation. This eventually led the Nazi official Werner Best to begin the deportation of the Danish Jews. The Holocaust had at last arrived in Denmark. This is when Preben Munch-Nielsen stepped up. Preben Munch-Nielsen made a difference in the Holocaust by risking his life to reach out and charter Jews to safety across the river to Sweden. He said, "You couldn't let people in need down. You couldn't turn your back on people who needed your help." Preben Munch-Nielsen was raised in the tradition of his country to help those in need and to see everyone as equals. He was born in a Protestant family on June 13, 1926. Raised by his grandmother, he lived his life with 5 other children in the village of Snekkersten, Denmark. He would commute to school and travel 25 miles south of Snekkersten. He was raised in his country to see everyone as just Danes and not to distinguish between Jews and non-Jews. This was important because when the Holocaust began, he felt no difference between himself and the Jews. This gave him a sense of duty to help those Jews who were in his eyes no different than he. With a sense of justice, he found the courage to risk his life and save the Jews. Munch-Nielsen would have to transport all the Jews in Denmark to Sweden. He joined the resistance as a courier, delivering messages, but soon became more involved in October 1943 when the Gestapo began hunting down the Danish Jews. A German official stationed in Denmark, George Ferdinand, leaked the news of the pending deportation to the Danish leaders. Munch-Nielsen would hide the Jews near houses by the shore and brought them to waiting boats at a appointed time. Munch-Nielsen says the boats was normally stationed in Sweden. Then we had that point there and there at that time. At night, he would take 12 Jews at a time on a 4-mile trip across the straits to Sweden, a neutral country where the Jews would be safe in 50 minutes. Preben Munch-Nielsen says they went down through the trap door and disappeared in the hole. Once they were all in the hole, we shut the trap door. We stacked our ropes on top. The Germans who inspected the boat never suspected that underneath the nets and ropes there was a trap door. Also, they had to react a very special way, too. Very silent. We had a problem with the children sometimes, but we had our Dr. Gaskels. He gave them injection, the children, but he was very afraid sometimes, because he said, "I don't know this patient. How much can I do?" But nothing happened. They came overall, and we never lost a single passenger. Preben Munch-Nielsen knew what he was getting himself into, because he knew that it was the right thing to do. Nielsen chose to save the Jews through cooperation with others and with his own integrity that he was raised with. Through cooperation, Preben Munch-Nielsen and others formed the El Señor Sewing Club, or Friends of the Sound, led by Kaiser, a bookbinder who wanted nothing more than find a way to anger the Germans. However, Preben wasn't concerned with angering the Germans as much as he was concerned with saving the Danish Jews. When he was asked why he helped, he replied, "You help, of course. Therefore, I don't think it's I. Could you remain your self-respect if you knew what would happen to these people would suffer?" This shows his integrity for other people that are complete strangers to him. He also says you couldn't let people in need down. You can't turn your back on people who needed your help. There must be some decency in man's life, and it wouldn't have been decent to turn your back to people in need. So there's no question why or why not. He just did, because of his integrity and cooperation, and he and others were able to transport most of the Jews to Sweden. With the leader of the El Señor Club at the helm, Kaiser, Preben was able to help save 7,200 Danish Jews from the Nazis. Preben Munch-Nielsen, working hard and long, was able to safely transport 1,400 Jews to Sweden in less than a month. Out of all the Danish Jews, less than 2% were killed. About 120 were murdered, and less than 500 were sent to Theresienstadt and remained there until the spring of 1945. This was a truly amazing feat for them to accomplish. About 6 million Jews were in total killed in the Holocaust by the Nazis. However, the El Señor Club was able to save nearly an entire country of Jews underneath the Nazis' noses. After the leader Kaiser was captured and tortured, Munch-Nielsen and the other members fled to Sweden as well in 1943 when the Germans seized the Danish government. The Holocaust greatly affected Preben Munch-Nielsen's life by having to leave his home and flee Sweden as well to escape the Gestapo and later return as a hero. He returned home in May 1945. The other members of the El Señor Club came back to Denmark after the war and would meet once a month at a coffee shop in El Señor. They talk of old times and rejoice in the freedom that they enjoyed, a freedom that they helped kept. Later, on after the war, he began working in business. At age 59, Preben Munch Nelson decided to become a public speaker and educator. The Holocaust ended up having a positive impact on his life as he returned home knowing that he had helped save his fellow Danes and protect the freedom that was nearly taken from them, to later become a public speaker to share his wisdom and knowledge of his treacherous journey. In conclusion, Preben Munch Nelson could not stand by as his fellow Danes were sentenced to death. He became a hero when he could have remained a bystander like everyone else. He was an upstander, or someone who wouldn't stand by and give in to the fate of the majority.